जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदनंदन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजना यशोदनंदन जमुना तीरावनचारी जमुना तीरा जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, verse number 1. Shri Sūta uvāca. Ānartān upavrajya svṛddhāñ jana-padān svakān dadhmau daravaram teṣāṁ viṣādam śamayann. Can you recite? Sūta uvāca. Ānartān upavrajya svṛddhāñ jana-padān svakān dadhmau daravaram teṣāṁ viṣādam śamayann. Ānartān upavrajya Ānartān jana-padān svakān dadhmau daravaram teṣāṁ viṣādam śamayann. Sūta uvāca. Ānartān upavrajya svṛddhāñ jana-padān svakān dadhmau daravaram teṣāṁ viṣādam śamayann. Sūta uvāca. Sūta Gosvāmī said, Ānartān, the country known as Ānartān, Dvārakā. Saha, he, upavrajya, reaching the border of svṛddhāñ, most prosperous, jana-padān, city, svakān, his own, dadhmau, sounded, daravaram, the auspicious conchshell, Pāñcajanya, teṣāṁ, of them, viṣādam, dejection, śamayann, pacifying, iva, seemingly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Yeshī Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sūta Gosvāmī said, upon reaching the border of his most prosperous metropolis, known as the country of Ānartān, Dvārakā, the Lord sounded his auspicious conchshell, heralding his arrival and apparently pacifying the dejection of the inhabitants. Purport. The beloved Lord was away from his own prosperous metropolis of Dvārakā for a considerably long period because of the Battle of Kurukshetra, and thus all the inhabitants were overcome with melancholy due to the separation. When the Lord descends on the earth, his eternal associates also comes with him, just as the entourage of a king accompanies him. Such associates of the Lord are eternally liberated souls, and they cannot bear the separation of the Lord even for a moment because of intense affection for the Lord. Thus the inhabitants of the city of Dvārakā were in a mood of dejection and expected the arrival of the Lord at any moment. So the heralding sound of the auspicious conchshell was very encouraging, and apparently the sound pacified their dejection. They were still more aspirant to see the Lord among themselves, and all of them became alert to receive him in the befitting manner. These are the signs of the spontaneous love of Godhead. Om Ajnānatimirandasya Gnānāñjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahi Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishākanvitamsya Namāvam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha krupa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I'm feeling a little nervous because first time in this place I'm giving Bhagavatam. So I was just remembering. So initially, when Karnataka Pr was going to Vrajdham voice, at that time actually it is not Vrajdham voice, it is, I don't know what, V80 voice. So I used to go with him. So Haldar Priya Prabhu, all these devotees are there. He's doing finely, I think. Some other devotees, Jivadaya Prabhu is also there. So many devotees, Akhilatma Pran Prabhu, Hari Bhakti Prabhu. Somehow 6 months I was there, serving. Somehow my own unfortunate situation, I could not take that advantage. So I quit and I was rendering temple services. Nonetheless, I was there with Karnataka Prabhu in his room only. Somehow I'm like a bedbug in close association, but still I can't take advantage. But all of you, you are so nicely brought up, cultivated and nourished. And now I'm seeing how this project is so wonderfully developing. It's almost 15 years, I think, 2010. Yeah, 2012 years. So I can see how Prabhuji has very nicely, very organically developed things. And now I can see the future so bright. So many wonderful things will happen more and more here. So I'm feeling fortunate again to come into this association, to speak to such wonderful devotees here. So please empower me so that I can speak. I'm a little shy person, I can't speak in front of people. So I'll try my best. Hare Krishna. So this is a wonderful section going on. So first canto, 11th chapter. And Prabhupada has given his best in this first canto. So we can keep reading again and again. Some devotees actually, every day they read, means they read the purports of first canto and again they start. The first canto rotates, even though they may read other things also. So that is, because Prabhupada said, I have given everything in this first canto. So Prabhupada's transcendental ecstasies are there in these purports. And only when we have that consciousness, we can tune into those ecstasies. And then we don't need anything else, right? So this chapter, Lord Krishna's entrance into Dvārakā. So how amazingly this sequence is coming. So how the Bhagavatam starts. The Shaunakādi rishis, they were asking questions. So basically in the first 3 chapters is like a prelude, introduction. And then in the 4th chapter, the sages ask the 4 questions. In the first canto, 4th chapter. So they were asking about how this Bhagavatam appeared. So please tell the history of Bhagavatam. About the Naimisharanya. And then they were asking about Sūta Gosvāmī. how he was so renounced, but he came and he was speaking about Bhagavatam. And then they asked about birth and activities of Parikshit Maharaj. And then they were asking how Parikshit Maharaj left his kingdom. He was so wonderfully ruling the kingdom. He was shelter for the citizens. How he left the kingdom and went to the forest to fast until death on the bank of the Ganges. So then, taking these questions, Sūta Gosvāmī starts narrating. So next 4, 5, 6, if you see, it's about Bhagavatam, how it appeared. The whole Narada Muni's pastime, how he himself got bhakti, like that. How Narada Muni instructed Vyasadeva to write Bhagavatam. So then Bhagavatam ends, the narration of how Bhagavatam appeared ends. Then Parikshit Maharaj, Sūta Gosvāmī starts narrating about birth and activities of Parikshit Maharaj. So to explain his birth, he has to tell that when the Kurukshetra war ended, so everything is settled, but still this Ashwatthama, he sent a Brahmastra towards Uttara to kill the last hair of the Pandavas, this is Parikshit Maharaj in the womb. So how Krishna, he saved entering the womb. And then, so he was saved, then Kunti Maharani. So he can stop there and immediately come to how Parikshit Maharaj's birth and activities. But Sūta Gosvāmī is so absorbed, so he detours. He tells about how Kunti Maharani comes and she prays to the Lord. The whole Kunti Maharani praise section, so wonderful, amazing prayers. Then Kunti Maharani, she gets pacified, and then Yudhishthira Maharaj, he asks Krishna to stay for a long period of time, some more period. And then he stays back. And then Bhishmadev prayers, that section, how Bhishmadev was leaving this world. And then he speaks about Rajdharma, Sridharma, all those things to the Yudhishthira Maharaj. And then once that is also over, he was about to leave Hastinapur. So that is another chapter. So one chapter went in Kunti Maharani's prayers, another chapter in Bhishmadev's prayers, and 10th chapter in Krishna leaving Hastinapur, and how the citizens were feeling separation, all they were praying, so many things. And then his entrance into Dvārakā, this chapter, current chapter. So 4 chapters, practically there is no connection with the question. But Sūta Gosvāmī got lost in his own absorption. Actually, it is not getting lost, it actually is giving the essence. Vyasadeva, he has designed this Srimad Bhagavatam in such a way that when we read this Srimad Bhagavatam from 1st to 9 cantos, we will become self-realized just by going step by step, the first 9 cantos. Prabhupada writes in the introduction. One will develop self-realization, first 9 cantos. So they were very nicely the selected historical events which are connected with the Lord. They are selected and put not in a chronological order, but whatever is required. Now it's like a prelude or a introduction or a trailer. So before the movie trailer comes, no? So before 10th canto comes, so Sūta Gosvāmī give trailers. So this is one trailer we get here, and in the 3rd canto also we get, where Uddhava and Maitreya section. So he will not lose the track, because the essence, they know the essence, what it has to be given to the conditioned souls. But the way it is given, keeping the conditioned souls into picture, so very wonderfully, scientifically designed, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Samalam Purana. So, I'll just read the purport of 1.3.41, 40. It's a very beautiful purport given by Srila Prabhupada. Idam Bhagavatam nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreshaya Lokasya Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. So we were explaining about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. We have time. 7:35, na? Or 7:30. So Mahaprabhu declared the Srimad Bhagavatam as spotless Purana. So where in the selected histories of great devotees who are in direct contact with the personality of Godhead are given. It's the literary incarnation of Krishna, non-different from him. Therefore, it should be worshipped respectfully as we worship the Lord. One can derive from the study of the Bhagavatam all benefits that are possible to be derived from the personal presence of the Lord. It carries with it all the transcendental blessings of Lord Sri Krishna that we can expect from his personal contact. So whatever we can derive from the personal presence of the Lord, like when he was there, how the citizens were feeling, how he attracted the hearts of all the inhabitants. So we may not worry that, oh, Lord is not present here. He is there in the form of Bhagavad. Krishna svṛddhāmopagate dharma gnānādibhyaha saha puranārko aduna uditaha. So this has appeared when the son of Krishna has gone back to spiritual world to give his association. So we should take it that seriously. Like how much serious when we go into the altar and we worship the Lord, how much we take care of following all the rules and regulations. So it's non-different. So Archamurti is one of the incarnation of Lord, and Srimad Bhagavatam is also incarnation of the Lord. Yeah. So I will not go much. We can read the purports 40 and 41. It's very beautiful purports about Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's called Amalam Puranam. The beautiful verse comes in second canto. Pibanti ye bhagavata atmanasatam katam brutam shravana puteshu shambrutam punanti te vishaya vidusitashayam vrajanti tacharana sharoruhantikam. So when we hear from our ear holes, shravana puteshu, this Bhagavat Katha, so what happens is all our material contamination, vishaya vidusitashayam, all these material ambitious things will be washed away. And what will happen? Vrajanti tacharana sharoruhantikam. We will go back to the spiritual world and at the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet. So that is a benefit of reading Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. Yeah. So now let us see the power of bhakti. Like in this chapter, this verse is speaking about how the Lord, the devotees, when the Lord descends, he comes along with his pure devotees, eternal associates, and how they feel the separation, how they can't bear the separation of the Lord. So because of intense affection. So same intense affection can be developed even among us. So when we understand this power of bhakti, the devotional service, when we practice. So many instances in Bhagavatam we can find. So then in the 11th canto, one verse comes. So, bhaktihi pareshanubhavo viraktir anyatra chaisha trika eka kalaha prapadyamanasya yatashnutashu tushti pushtik shudapayuno anugas. So very beautiful verse. Jaya Goswami gives a nice purport to it. So when we practice devotional service, three things happen. So we can check ourselves whether we are practicing properly or not. So bhakti, the devotion will come. Para Ishanubhava. So the experience, direct experience of the Lord. And virakti. We will also develop detachment. So detachment is a natural byproduct of practicing bhakti. And trying to be detached, that is also a part of bhakti. So that we can become attached to Krishna. So they're not actually separate. So they are compared to tushti, pushti and kshudapa. So tushti is like satisfaction. So when we eat food, we feel satisfied. Feel some pleasure. Okay, nice foodstuffs. When you are hungry. So similarly, when you are really desperate, so then you practice bhakti, you feel that pleasure, higher taste. That is compared to tushti. And similarly, the pushti is maintenance, nourishment. So automatically when you eat food, you feel nourished. Like that. Similarly, when you practice bhakti, so you feel protected, nourished, because of the direct experience of the Lord. So pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. It's directly experienceable. So then you feel nourished. You can say no to Maya's allurements. So that is called pushti. And then virakti is compared to as you eat the food, your hunger is satisfied and you are relieved from that hankering of eating foodstuffs. So you don't want to eat more. So that is called virakti. Like similarly, when you practice bhakti, you'll automatically feel detached from other material aspirations. But the one difference is when you eat food, when your hunger is satisfied, you don't want to eat more. You're satisfied. But in bhakti, it's not like that. So when you are nourished, when you are satisfied, but still you want to more and more hear about Krishna and take his association. Because it is not material. So material things become hackneyed or, what do you say, tasteless. Navitrupyanti. So you don't feel satisfied even after repeatedly hearing or practicing bhakti. So that is the glory of bhakti. That's why Narada Muni says that even somebody, after practicing bhakti, they live, still they keep on remembering those wonderful incidents. Mukunda sev yanvayat anga samsmritim smaran mukundangri upaguhanam punar. So, initially I came like that in the association of devotees. I danced during yatras along with Maharaj. So these incidents, when we remember, so it's like the nectar again flows in. So that is and even in this chapter only we can find, in the previous chapter and in this chapter, how the citizens of Hastinapur, the queens, so everyone, they were remembering their own relationship with Krishna and how he was interacting with them. And they were just remembering those things. And when he was leaving, they were offering prayers. And when he entered Dvārakā, so same thing. So they were like feeling dejection. They were like in melancholy. When the sun is gone, when there is darkness, we are waiting for the sun. And the sun heralds. So immediately life comes. Similarly, the Dvārakavasis, they were feeling like that because long time separation. So Krishna went to Kurukshetra for that purpose of yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Similarly, so from our life also, Krishna, from our heart is like a Dvārakā city, or Vrindavan, depending upon who the devotee is. So the Lord has gone because he has to perform the battle of Kurukshetra. So what is the battle of Kurukshetra? It's a battle between vice and virtue. Similarly, in our own heart, in Kali Yuga, at that time they are separate, different dynasties. But here now, in the same personality we have, the virtue and vice. So there's a Kurukshetra going on. So the Lord, so now he has to, first of all, perform that battle. And when the virtue becomes victorious, so then we are ready. The heart is ready. So then the Lord enters. Till that time we are in separation. So when the platform is ready, then we are eager to receive the Lord. So how the Dvarakavas is here is, as soon as the conchshell is heralded, the Lord has not yet come. The daravaram, teṣāṁ, that conchshell is sounded. By hearing that sound, so they're all, that dejection was gone, and they were now want to see the Lord. And they got up from their duties or whatever, and they started running towards the outskirts of the city. And now the description goes on, like how all different varieties of citizens, they come, the brahmanas, the old ladies, even the prostitutes, they were coming, and they were seeing the beauty of the Lord. Nityam nirikshamananam yadapi dvārakaukasham navitrupyanti hi drushaha striyo damangamachutam. So they were just looking at the Lord's beauty. And Lord's beauty, how it is? Pānapātram mukam drusham. So it's like a drinking vessel for the eyes. So the Lord's beauty is compared like that. The sum total of all beauty, Prabhupada says. So whatever beauty we are seeing in this nature, sometimes people go to Lonavala or to out of the country to different places just for what? To experience the beauty of nature. But that is there. If you go on in front of the deities, if you just stand there gazing at the beauty, that beauty is there. Unfortunately, in the conditioned state, because of our own contamination, we can't see that beauty. So just like Ramanujacharya revealed that beauty to Govinda, sorry, not Govinda, Dasarathi. So he was attracted to a prostitute, and he was gazing at that prostitute when the procession is going on, the Lord's procession is going. And he was walking backwards. And everybody is laughing at what kind of crazy person this is. And the Ramanuja said, I felt compassion, and he told that, if I show you more beautiful thing than her, so would you listen to me? So then I told, no way. There cannot be any beauty than this. But Ramanujacharya took him, and in front of Ranganath, he prayed to Ranganath, please show your merciful glance. This poor fellow is attracted to these broken pieces of glasses. So because of Ramanujacharya's prayers, Ranganath has given that glance, and seeing that beauty, so Dasarati became flat. So he became disciple of Ramanujacharya. So you can see that beauty is there. Is the trump total of all beauty. So, but we should become qualified by serving the great souls in their association. Like that, Dhruva Maharaj also prays, na? Kachin vichinman apidivyaratman swamin krutatosmi varam nayacha. So I am looking for broken pieces of glasses, but in front of me is a diamond. So I have a very silly ambition that I want to become a great personality than my great grandfather, that is Brahma. So even Brahmaloka, Dhruvaloka he got. So that is appearing like a broken piece of glass. So for us, even the petty things of this world distract us, and we consider it as like very valuable. So, therefore, when we read these two chapters now, if you go, we understand actually what it means to be in the association of the Lord. What it means to understand the divine qualities of the Lord. So why these people are so attracted. You have carefully read these two chapters, especially 10th and 11th. So why these people are so mad after Krishna? Because you are also like that. Somehow you forgot. By reading that, like a patient lost his memory. So who is he? Who am I? He's searching. So sometimes we give treatment, shock treatment, or we take him to a place where we were performed our leelas, so that we can remember again those things. So similarly, by reading this, then we will remember, oh, I was like this. Somehow I forgot. So otherwise it's very difficult to be separated from Lord. We can't actually, because it's so attractive. It's like magnet. Lord is like magnet, we're like iron. It's natural to become attracted. So the only thing why we are not attracted is because it's rusted. A lot of layers of rust is there. So the cleaning has to be happen. So like this, so many verses. Okay, only 15 minutes we have. I'll just take few. Even gopis, so if you're in the 10th canto, the feelings of separation. Yadohane vahanane matano palepa prenkankanarbarudito kshanamajjanado gayanti chainamanurakta diyoshtrukantya dhanya vrajastriya vurukramachittayana. So very beautiful verse. So how the gopis are absorbed in thinking about Krishna, even in performing their daily duties. Yadohane means by milking the cows. So vahanane means, I think, crushing the grains. Matana, churning. Upalepa, the cow dung, they're making the area wet. Prenkankana, by swinging on that cradles. Prenkankana arbaruditaha, taking care of the children crying, the babies. Ukshana is sprinkling the ground with water. Marjanadish, cleaning the household things. So all these daily affairs, what they are doing, Gayanti Chaina Manurakta, with great intense affection, they are singing about the glories of the Lord. Ashrukantya, with the tears in their eyes. Dhanya, Sūta Gosvāmī praising. So what fortunate ladies these are. Dhanya Vrajastriya, Urukramayana Chittaha. They are always thinking about the Lord, Urukrama. So, and we know even that one Gopi, when the Raslila, Krishna called with his flute. So one Gopi was not allowed to go. She immediately left the body out of separation. So this is the height of the examples. So just we are, for our own purification, so we are understanding what actually it means to be in the association of God. So this is what. For us, even chanting 16 rounds, it's like Prabhupada says how we should chant. We were hearing last Friday Prabhupada's lecture that it's not like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. It's not like that chanting. Chanting is not hackneyed job. Oh, I have to chant now. So it should be done with love. Priti Purvakam. Dadami. But Priti should be there. Like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Because Radha and Krishna are there personally. It's not different from Radha and Krishna. So when we chant like that, so we'll feel the presence of the Lord. But for us, unfortunately, so because our consciousness is not there, something else, somewhere else we are. Right? So therefore, we cannot understand the beauty of the Lord or taste of the Lord. So many great souls, even Chaitanya Charitamrita says that how they were so much eager to render service to the Lord. Because the happiness that we get from serving the Lord, it cannot be compared. So Krishna Dasa Abhimane, ye Ananda Sindhu, Koti Brahma Sukha Nahi Tara Eka Bindu. So the happiness that is derived from Krishna's service, it cannot be compared to Koti Brahma Sukha, the Brahmananda, the liberation, the happiness of merging into the Brahman. Even if we multiply it by Koti Brahma Sukha, Nahi Tara Eka Bindu. In a drop, it cannot be compared to the drop of what happiness we get from serving the Lord. That's why all the personalities we see, whatever the relation may be, whether they are parents, whether they are fiancé, whether they are friend, servant, everybody is in the mood of servant only. Even the gopis, they are in the mood of that servant only. Because the happiness that is derived is incomparable. That's why they feel separation when that opportunity is not there. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravarshayat. So the millions of years will appear like, 1 minute appears like millions of years. But Mahaprabhu mercifully came in this world to give us again the glimpse of that taste. So I'll just read this section of Adilila 3.14. So very beautifully, so Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami narrates about the external reasons for the appearance of Lord Gauranga. So Krishna, when he came and after performing pastimes, he went back. So then he is thinking like this. Chirakala nahi kare prema bhaktidan, bhakti vina jagatera nahi avasthan. So for a long time, I have not bestowed unalloyed loving service to me upon the inhabitants of the world. Without such loving attachment, the existence of the material world is useless. Next he says, Sakala jagate more kare vidhi bhakti vraja bhava paite nahi shakti. So whole world is rendering this devotion with awe and reverence. But that will not satisfy me. So this Krishna is thinking like this. Aishwarya gnanete sabha jagata mishrita, Aishwarya shitila prema nahi mora prita. So the whole world is worshipping me with Aishwarya gnan. But that love covered with this Aishwarya shitila prema is not pleasing to me. Aishwarya gnane vidhi bhajana kariya, Vaikunta kaya chaturvida mukti paya. So by rendering such devotion, one can go to Vaikunta and get 4 kinds of liberation. So, but personally, I come just to give this. I want to come again and give these 4 kinds of devotional service. Yuga dharma pravattaimu nama sankitana chari bhava bhakti diya nachamu bhuvana. So I want to come again and give these 4 kinds of chari bhava bhakti diya. So what is this chari bhava? So the 4, that is dasya, sakya, vatsalya and prema. So you want to give this devotion to the people of this world by propagating the Harinam Sankirtan. Apani karimu bhakta bhava angikare, apani achari bhakti sikai musabare. So I will take the form of a devotee and I will teach personally by my own example. Because I came as Krishna, I performed pastimes, but where only the close associates could understand and they came back with me. But I want to come and personally show an example of how to practice bhakti. So therefore he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a devotee. So therefore, Namo Mahavadanya is a magnificent, most munificent incarnation. So we every day recite that Anarpita Charim Charat Karunaya Avatirneha Kalau Samarpitam Unnatodjvala Rasam Subhaktishriyam. So that Unnata Ujjvala Rasam, that Madhurya Rasa, especially, he came to give that, which no incarnation has ever offered. So therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, if you think about the Mahaprabhu's mercy, so your logic fails. So how come? So he is coming and giving this to these conditions like that. So like this beautiful section goes that Mahaprabhu came to give this Raga Bhakti. Like that. So we are practicing Vidhi Bhakti. So he came to give this Raga Bhakti here in this purport. So in the last, Prabhupada says that these are the signs of the spontaneous love of Godhead. So what the Dvarakavasis are feeling now. So that is there in our own heart. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai. Shravanadi Suddha Chitta Kare. We can awaken that spontaneous love by the practice of bhakti. We cannot do it artificially. Like sometimes people, even in Prabhupada times, many, so they were showing the symptoms of spontaneous love, crying tears and shivering and all those things. So Prabhupada told kick. Also one devotee was doing some natak, devotee or non-devotee. So Prabhupada told kick him, then we'll understand whether he is really practicing or not, really bhava or not. So anyways, because there are three ways these things can come, this spontaneous love. So NOD it comes that pratibimba chayabhas. So there is one, the reflection of bhava, that spontaneity comes. There is chayabhas, so shadow also. So when it comes, then we also sometimes tears may come and we may feel ecstasy, shivering of the body. But we have to understand it's not the actual bhava. It's a reflection. That reflection, it comes because of the association of a pure devotee. Because the pure devotee has that devotion that reflects in our heart, and we feel that, oh, it's me. I'm also pure devotee now. It's not like that. So how we can understand? Because we cry when we go to movies also. Our household, even babies, our own babies, we cry like that. So that the attachment for material things is not gone. So like, and Chayabhas is like a shadow. It's little more advanced than Pratibimba, but where you are curious about devotional aspects, and sometimes you come and participate in a festival that is happening in the temple or in the association of devotees, you practice some limbs of bhakti, and then you also feel that ecstasy. So, but what we are speaking, this is actually the real one that will only develop when we steadily practice sadhana bhakti. And of course, out of these two, there is sahajiyas who take it very cheaply. Not even these two. They fake it, like crying and all those things, just for some name, fame. But really, if you want to really develop this spontaneous devotion in your heart, so first let us understand the glory of bhakti. So how the devotees are feeling separation from the Lord. So if you read this prayers throughout, that's why this 1 to 9 cantos, they will train us by all these sections, different devotees, how they are feeling separation from the Lord. Their prayers actually, just by reading their prayers, like Rutrasur prayers also will come. Like, so how he is valuing bhakti. Nanaka prushtam nachaparyameshtam nasarvabhaumam narasadhipatyam. So he doesn't want anything. Nanaka prushtam, not Brahmaloka, not even Svarkaloka, not even down lokas, not even the earthly, heavenly, the kingly positions. So like that. They don't want anything else but the service of the Lord. Eagerly awaiting for that. So that we can develop genuinely in our own heart. So when we practice sadhana bhakti, so which is given very mercifully by Srila Rupa Gosvāmī, these 4 books which we have, Bhagavad Gita and NOD, Nectar of Devotion, the Science of Devotion, NOI, Nectar of Instruction, and Ishopanishad. When we are thoroughly with these 4 basic books, especially NOI. So NOI says, Upadeshamrita, the first 7 verses. So when we go through these first 7 verses, then the 8th verse comes. What is the 8th verse? Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtananu smrutyo kramena rasana manasi niyojya tishtan vraje tadanuragi jananugami kalam nayeda kilamityupadesha saram. So this is actually one develops the spontaneous attraction for the Lord. Then he sits in Vrajdham, Vrindavan, and he just sings and glorifies the Lord's activities. But to go to that stage, we have to go through the first 7 verses. What is the first verse? Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam jihva vegam uttaropastha vegam etan vegan yo vishaheta dhiraha sarvam api mam putivim shashiksh. So the first 2 verses tells about what things we should avoid in the practice of bhakti. It's very important. And then what things we should develop in bhakti. The next 4 verses or 5 verses. Then this spontaneous love we can experience. So I'll just take 2 minutes. Like Vacho Vegam. So speaking Krishna Katha. So we need not become Pandita. Okay, I will become expert in all the what Prabhupada has given, then I will preach. No. Prabhupada told, you read 2 verses, you speak 2 verses. Whatever you. Even Saraswati, she is a preacher because she is telling Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. Sometimes we think that, okay, I will become expert, learn, then I will preach. We have some fear. But we were hearing that when Prabhupada was telling that Jatayu. So Jatayu, he fought right, with Ravana. He knows that he will surely be defeated. He doesn't have that capacity, skills. He's old also. But still, he, at the hour of need, because that is needed at that hour, Ravana is taking Mother Sita. So he went and fought to his best of his capacity. He lost the battle. No problem, he's victorious. Lord Ram personally performed the funeral ceremony. So that is a success. Similarly, we have to go and fight with the world, stupid in Maya. We have to make them alert. So for that, we may not be having enough skills or capacity, but still we fight with our best capacity. We may get defeated. No problem, come back in the association of devotees, get charged again. But we should go and fight. So Prabhupada was telling, I was very impressed by this. So even Bhagavatam speaks, tatapi kirtayami anga. What is that next? Asati yataditam yatamati. Yatabhakti yatamati. Kirtim harer swam katnum giram anyabhidashatim. Otherwise, our words will become unchaste. If we don't speak about Krishna, we speak about Maya. We discuss about Maya. Speaking about Krishna, maybe speaking about Krishna's service also, how the service can be improved, the plans we make. So this is how the Vacha Vega can be controlled, like this. So, and Manasah Vegam. So the whole, like Bhagavad Gita 17.16, the austerity of mind, Manaprasada Saumyatvam, being simple. So detaching mind from the sense gratification. How to detach mind from the sense gratification? So by thinking about the welfare of the world, how we can benefit the world by these preaching activities. So then we can automatically become detached from sense gratification. So gravity in thought, like that. So how we're making plans for the service of the Lord. So this is how mind can be controlled. So like Vacho Vegam, Manasa Vegam, Krodha Vegam, Jihva Vegam, only eating prasadam. So Bhakti Brodh Bhagavat Maharaj recently came, he was telling, prasadam, eating prasadam means cooked by devotees, offered by devotees, served by devotees. He was telling like this, so we should. Prabhupada, even many places, if you see in Envoy only, it is prasadam. Just by eating prasadam, you can control your tongue. So many simple things are there. Then sato vritti, by following what Prabhupada has given, Acharya has given the whole morning program. So our 24 hours can be engaged. Like this, when we do, so very enthusiastically, then like 4th verse, by having relationship with devotees, by serving that pure devotees, and by hearing from them, so then we develop that natural attraction for the Lord. I think I'll stop here. It's already time. So today is also the appearance day of Vrindavan Das Thakur. So I thought of speaking about him. But whole day is there, you can all go through it. So Vyasadeva has written this Bhagavatam, and the same, the incarnation of Vyasadeva, Vrindavan Das Thakur, he has written Chaitanya Bhagavat. So very simple language, so very sweet. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur recommends this book. We should read this book if you want to develop attraction for Krishna and Mahaprabhu, like that. So Vrindavan Das Thakur, he appeared in 1507 to Narayani. So we read about Narayani in Chaitanya Leela. So where Mahaprabhu gave this mercy by calling her in the Srivas Angan when he was performing the Sankirtan, and just by touching her and asking her to cry, she comes in ecstasy. So Mahaprabhu, by his just touch, he brought her into spontaneous ecstasy. So not like that opportunity is there. When Mahaprabhu does, it can happen. But for us, there is a process. You have to go through that process of following all this sadhana bhakti. So we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.